Well, good to see all of you here. PM Lee, thank you for coming to launch the book on Singapore aging, challenges and issues ahead. Your presence means quite a lot to all of us. To the book, we have 14 contributors who have given different viewpoints to the book, and their views are personal. They have given their own reflections. It's not directed, it's not official news, comments and viewpoints, and they have shared their thoughts about aging issues, which are both in with this complex, and the challenges are tremendous for us. So they have contributed their own thinking, and I hope that you take your time to read. I'm not going to talk about the chapters of the book, otherwise you won't buy the book. So I'll be brief. They have given very good viewpoints there and shared their thoughts, which we can reflect, and this will affect us as we journey through, in the years to come. We all must know that we have to journey through aging, and all of us here, some of us are seniors, some of us are going to be getting to seniors. We are Merdeka generation, we are Generation Y, we are Generation Z, mixed together. I hope we all learn to share and have support for one another. And with that, I think we will be able to grow and develop. And as you appreciate, aging is a life course issue. And we all go through this life course. And for some, it is challenging. And for others, it's very difficult. And all depends on your capacity to do activities of daily living. And if you cannot manage activities of daily living, then life can be very tough. And as you appreciate, there are 4 types of seniors who respond differently to activities of daily living. They have been identified. First, you have the go-go type. People who are able to be on the go, they can do things, and some of you are on the go-go range, all the time going, capable of doing things. Then you have the go-slow type. You can do things, but a bit slow, but you still get things done. Then the next type is the slow type. You do things, but very slowly, You are able to move, you are able to do activities of daily living. The last is the no-go type. And some of us will get to that level, And when we get to that level, it can be quite challenging and quite trying. And I see that in due course, we will have quite a lot of people who are going to be homebound, who need care, who need support. And I must say that no amount of nursing home can solve the problem. What we need is to have a good network of support within the community. Families, friends, neighbors, the community itself must rally together to see what can be done. And service delivery must be made at the neighborhood level, where it can be accessible to the old who need support, so that they can all be helped to age in place and to age in dignity. And this, I think, is essentially necessary for us to build a society which is caring, society which is meaningful, society that respects the old and care for the old. So that will be a challenge for all of us, and challenge for the younger generation. Next issue I think we will face is the employability for the old. As you all would appreciate, as you all will see the statistics, you're going to have more and more silver manpower. And the question is that they're going to live after retirement at age 65 or so. They're going to live for another 20 years because our lifespan is now 84, 85. So about 20 years, of living years that you've got to go through. And they all have the talents, the capacities. They belong to a new era of seniors who have grown up with knowledge and capabilities. So the question before us is how to tap the rich talents that these seniors have and how we can engage them. And mind you, a lot of corporations and others has a mindset, that when you get old, after you're retired, retirement age, you're seen as not being any more useful. I think we have to change our mindset towards looking at the seniors as people who are capable to contribute, and how can we tap their talents and retain them to help in Singapore's economic development. The other last issue that I think we will face is the population aging, population decline, and renewal. And as you can see, in due course, many societies will likely face this because people are marrying late, people are having less children. So the community can become less vibrant, less dynamic. So, as young Singaporeans and as Singaporeans, we must be trying to find innovative solutions to this problem so that we can help Singapore to be dynamic and to be vibrant and to be able to forge ahead. I think that will be a serious challenge for all of us. And as population decline, how do we make up for the population? How do we top up? I think these are critical issues facing Singapore in the years to come. And we must therefore be open enough to think big and to how to continue to make our society really vibrant, really stable, really forward-looking. And all of you can contribute to this solution. If you care to give some of your opinions and viewpoints, either through policy, through service, through mentoring people, you can contribute to this. And you have a place. How old you are, whether you are very senior or less senior, you have a place in Singapore to contribute the best you can. So I look forward to your contribution, and all the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, I think I join Prof Vasoo in welcoming each and every one of you, particularly PM and the stalwarts. It's so good to see so many of you here. It's very meaningful, it's very important for each and every one of us here. And I think even more important is about what the book is all about, which Dr. Vasoo has spoken. Secondly, this is a 290-page book organized in 14 chapters. And there are a number of co-writers. But I think what is important about the book is not just its timeliness, its relevance today, but more important, what Dr. Vasoo talked about, the writers are domain specialists. They are domain specialists, and it's coming from their heart, what they believe the whole subject matter is all about. This is not the first time, this is not the first book on aging, but what is heartening, really, as a nation, what is heartening, we have been at it for a very long time. The first official work on aging was in 1982. It's 41 years down, So we have been at it for a long time. We are not starting from ground zero. We have achieved a lot. Every home has a silver, or more than one silver, which to me actually is our golden constituents. And I think we've done well. We'll continue to work well at it. It's not easy. All you need is someone, the number 4, aged in your home, and you know what we are talking about. My in-laws are gone, but I just, every second week, we'll be rushing them to hospital, ambulance, and it's trying. It's very trying. It's very challenging, and it's also about the heart of this nation. If every home knows how to take care of that golden generation who have served us with distinction, you don't have to hold a key position. Looking after the family is already a great job. Bringing up children and great citizens is already a great job. And I think when we live, they should live with dignity. It's not easy, but I think we have worked hard. We will continue to work hard. The expectations from them, from the younger generations, for those who are carrying this generation, is high, is tough. But This is a nation of doers, really. You put a problem before us, we will overcome it. And what is even greater, what Dr. Vasu just mentioned about who is in this audience, the partnership which we have actually forged over the years is amazing, especially when it involves the elderly. It doesn't matter whether you're CMIO, you see someone, you'll help that person. And this is one of the great things about this graceful nation. So I think this book is about that. This book is about what we have done, what we are doing, and probably more important, what more can be done. And it's not easy. Let's have a conversation because it involves everybody. You get this right, you get this nation moving forward in a very right direction. We've been talking a lot about the youth, but I think as we talk about this golden generation in time to come, because more and more of us are going to join there, then getting this right, it will be one of the most important things this nation will come to know as a model. But it's the third thing which I want to talk about very briefly. Ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister, this book would not have been possible without the passion, mission, whatever you talk about, the inspiration, the aspiration, the mentorship, the push, the pull. I can tell you sometimes even the shouting behind it. And it was not easy. It was not easy, but this Mr. Hart is around. We know who he is, but we shouldn't take things and people like this for granted. I think credit should be given when it is due, and this book actually is the sum total of this man. He brought us together. Actually, when he approached me, I said, hey, I'm from PS, political science. What has this got to do with me? You know? And yet I'm here today. And this is the guy. He pulls people together. While he's talking about the book, he's helping somebody on the phone about some job or employment or whatever. So, ladies and gentlemen, the man behind the book. Please join me to honor and thank Professor S. Vasoo. Thank you. Thank you. On that note, have a good day. God bless. Yes.
Dr. Vasoo, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to everybody. I'm delighted today to join you to launch the book, Singapore Aging, Issues and Challenges Ahead, by Dr. Vasoo, Professor Bilveer Singh, and Professor Srinivasan. Dr. Vasoo has been deeply involved with social issues in Singapore for many decades. He's passionate about social work. He dedicates his time and effort to making a difference on the ground, including as an MP for over 15 years. He and I entered Parliament in the same year, in 1984. And even after retiring as an MP, he has remained actively involved in the community in so many ways. Dr. Vasoo has also written several books and contributed much to the discourse on social issues in Singapore. I'm very glad that he's teamed up with Professor Bilveer and Professor Srinivasan for his latest project to share their thoughts and insights on this very important topic of aging. Countries all over the world are facing the problem of aging populations, and Singapore is one of them. In fact, we have one of the world's lowest fertility rates, and at the same time, one of the world's longest life expectancies. Our population is not just aging, but aging rapidly. In 2010, about 1 in 10 Singaporeans were aged 65 and above. A decade later, in 2020, it had risen to 1 in 6, from 1 in 10 to 1 in 6 in 10 years. And by 2030, another 10 years later, it will be almost 1 in 4 Singaporeans over 65. And this is a massive change for our society. We see it in our daily lives, at our workplaces and communities. We interact with many more seniors today. Our built environment looks different too, having evolved to adapt to the needs of seniors. So, for example, you see more active aging centers in the HDB void decks, more senior-friendly exercise machines in fitness corners, and also increased barrier-free access across our neighborhoods, lifts on every floor in nearly all HDB blocks, and safety grab bars installed in bathrooms and toilets. But the impact goes far beyond that. An aging population will totally change the way our society works, from our economy to our healthcare system to planning for retirement adequacy. It will also change how we look after and engage our seniors so that they can remain active and healthy, continue to contribute to society, and live out the full span of their lives with purpose and dignity. It is not so straightforward to address the challenges of an aging population. For example, in European countries, in the EU, on average, more than 1/4 of the population are pensioners, and they are mostly receiving state pensions, and the states spend, on average, 13% of their GDP on old age pensions. You think about that. Our entire government spending is about 17% of GDP in Singapore. Without far-reaching reforms, pension spending will continue to rise in Europe as their population ages. But implementing such reforms is very hard. The French government, specifically President Macron, is raising the pension age in France from 62 to 64. But this has led to huge resistance and even civil unrest. That's in Europe. Japan's population is not just aging, but also shrinking. And beyond rising healthcare spending, this has resulted in the depopulation of rural areas and many empty, abandoned villages. Some of them will offer you empty houses for free. You just have to go and live there and be prepared to pay the property tax. But the house is free. And some Singaporeans take them up as holiday houses. China is also anxious about this problem. In 2020, over 260 million Chinese, more than 250 million people, were 60 and above. 60 because that's their current retirement age for men. For women, it's even lower. And by 2040, this is expected to rise to 400 million seniors. So the Chinese government too are looking very hard at this issue. In their book, Vasoo and Bilveer present one possible scenario reflecting the grim reality of an aging population. Escalating healthcare costs burdening the economy, societal fractures from competing needs across different age demographic groups. But in Singapore, we are determined not to go in this direction. However, avoiding it will take a whole of society effort and everyone having the right mindset. Individuals must embrace aging positively. You can't help your hair growing grayer or sparser, but you can stay open to change. You can keep learning and remaining productive for as long as you can. At home, families need to connect and engage with seniors and encourage them throughout their aging journey. And at the workplace too, employers need to support older workers and tap on their experience and the value they bring. As a society, we must strengthen the culture of respect towards our seniors, show that we understand and value one another, and avoid thinking in stereotypes that are hurtful and self-limiting. Many of those in their 70s and beyond are still physically and mentally robust. They are an important asset to both the workplace and society. Some are still writing books like Dr. Vasoo, and many others too, including the former MPs whom I'm very happy to see here with us this afternoon, remain active in business, in their professional careers, in community work, keeping in touch with things and contributing to our society. The government will take the lead to push things in the right direction. And let me briefly highlight 3 key areas. First, raising the retirement and re-employment ages in step with demographic changes. Many older Singaporeans want to keep active and continue working and contributing. Last July, we raised the retirement age to 63 and the re-employment age to 68. By 2030, we will increase them further, 65 to retire, re-employment until 70. And this will assure people that they can continue working in their golden years so long as they are able and keen to do so. Secondly, ensuring retirement adequacy. We've been regularly updating our CPF schemes so that they remain fit for purpose, in line with rising life expectancy and changing needs. For example, in 2009, we introduced CPF Life to provide members with the assurance of a monthly income for life. And the scheme is now operating and people are starting to receive CPF Life payments. This year, we announced changes to raise the CPF monthly salary ceiling for all members and the CPF contribution rates for older workers. We also complement the CPF with schemes like Workfare to provide additional and targeted assistance for lower wage workers, and Silver Support, which provides cash payouts to seniors who had low or no incomes during their working years. Thirdly, we are strengthening our healthcare system to meet increasing demand from an aging population. With Healthier SG, we are shifting decisively towards preventive care to reduce the disease burden for Singaporeans. If Singaporeans can stay healthier for longer, it will help to lighten the load on our healthcare system. Meanwhile, we continue to invest heavily in building new healthcare infrastructure and upgrading existing ones, hospitals, community hospitals, senior care facilities, to ensure high quality yet affordable care for all, especially our seniors. We are also expanding the range of social and long-term care services in the community, as Vasoo stressed just now, to meet our seniors' desires to age in place. For example, setting up more active aging centers to provide a wider range of activities to keep our seniors healthy and engaged. All these require significant resources, and we have taken steps, including difficult but necessary moves like raising the goods and services tax, in order to fund the increased spending to meet the needs of an aging population. In other words, the needs of you and me, all of us. If we can do all these things right, if all of us, individuals, families, employers, society, and the government, can come together with the right mindsets and strategies to tackle aging in our society, and if we can follow this through and come up with policies, implement them, make things happen on the ground, then we stand a good chance of realizing the alternative scenario also presented in the book, where seniors are healthy, savvy, actively engaged in productive and meaningful activities, well-respected, and society benefits from their collective wisdom and experience. So I hope this book will stimulate more constructive conversations around aging. It's important that we continue to discuss and debate such important issues in society, to provide fresh perspectives, to improve our solutions, and to make a difference to hundreds of thousands of senior Singaporeans who will one day include all of us. So let me once again congratulate the authors and contributors on the successful launch of the new book. May it sell well and may it have an impact on policy in Singapore. Thank you very much.